Sai Ram, my dear students. So, in this morning, we are going to listen about the comprehension skills, and you have to bother about two things: read and understand. These two tasks, the present unit is. And before going into this exercise, compositional, comprehension and comprehension passages. Here, what is important? Understanding and interpretation of what is read are very important. Understanding and interpretation both are very important in composition and composition skills. It is a life art. To be able to accurately understand written material, the students need to decode what they read. They should understand what they are reading, and they should decode what is to be done and what is you have learned, what is you have listened, and make connections between what they read and what they already know. The knowledge that you get there with your knowledge which is already there with you and in you. And the third one that enables to and the readers, the learners, the students to think deeply about what they have read. So this kind is manana is very important, and that enables to grasp language features like vocabulary. So you will come to know the different words that are used, and also sentence structures. So how the what is the composition of sentence and how the structures are there, what kind of structure in the syntactic fractures, whether there are syntactic fractures and syntactic unifications or syntactic beauty, that sentence structures and language peculiarities. And you will come to know the various peculiarities that we find in the language. That all depends upon that intelligence and maneuvering capacity with the playing with the language, and background knowledge and knowledge of the text. All these are things necessary to comprehend well, and that is a skill. Reading comprehension is a thinking process by which a reader selects facts. Number one, he is going to select the facts, information or ideas from printed material. That is in the form of a printed material. So you have to select the facts, information, ideas, whatever you have. Number two, it determines the meanings the author intended to transmit. So you have to determine for which and for what. And he decides how they should relate to previous knowledge. So that kind of correlation must be there. Then he judges their appropriateness and worth for meeting their objectives. So these are a few objectives of this comprehensional exercise. The comprehension of passages, especially short theme based passages, is an interesting compositional exercise. So naturally, if they are very short, so it is very easy for you to read and comprehend and understand better. that trains the learners to develop a reading habit. So if it is interesting and short, our modern students, love short and interesting things. So reading that makes that leads to cultivate a reading habit, which nurtures this reading habit, nurtures reading ability and continuous reading. So that if it is continued, if that skill is developed, so this nurtures reading ability also, and you will be able to read any. And you must have heard that certain people, you please read, you read well. In that way, reading is also an art, and I shall come to that later. While reading the passage, while reading the passage, they must note main and sub ideas. Every paragraph has got an idea, because in the compositional skill, every paragraph carries an idea. And if there are about 2 paras or 3 paras, 3 ideas are there. And to get that main and sub ideas, you have to choose what? Topic sentences. That is why careful reading is very important, and that gets you to topic sentences, and then you can have the main ideas and sub ideas. And before going into the details, reading, I want to draw your attention to the skill of reading. What is reading? Involves 2 things. I have already made the mention of these things in my previous classes also. So it involves 2 things. What are those? One is breath group. You should not go out of your breath. That is very much necessary and essential also. And the other, eye span, and whatever the eye that can hold, that span, you have to take only those groups of words which fill your eye span, and they are going to form sense groups. That is why in reading, you must make the sense groups. For example, if you go to the previous one, if you read it, the comprehension of passage is short theme based passages. If you read like that, and that sentence is dead, and you must make the sense groups. And those who read with proper sense groups, that makes him to take interest in reading, and also it creates a sort of interest on the part of the listeners also. And the objectives of the present unit, this: to reading and understanding. And what are the objectives? To enable the learners to understand short theme based passages and answer the questions set on it. And usually this is inevitable question in all the question papers from your 5th standard to even to the competitive examinations also, because it wants to test your ability to read, ability to understand, and ability to just draft them in your own way. So this is a very important skill. That is why this comprehensional passage is the inevitable part of the question paper. And especially NIOS, they give more importance to this comprehensional skill. And here in this unit, you have got one short theme based topic. We shall read it, then I shall just take you to your task. Not I shall take you to task, but I shall take you to another task. Here, the restoring or restoring childhood, and he talks something about this. This is the topic idea. Girls in particular have no time for childhood. He just starts. Why? Much of the work that girls and younger children do is carried out in a family group or domestic setting. Usually children are used and children do so many activities, but compared to the boys, girls do so many activities. This is rarely perceived as labor. We never call it as labor. For example, if my sister is going to wash the clothes and wash the bartan or these things, is it labor? No, it is a work perceived as labor. For example, the concept of child servitude, slavery of the children, servitude, slavery, and servants like treatment, servitude, child servitude implicitly excludes the domestic labor of girls. Whatever the girls will do, they are out of this domestic labor, their activities. Although this may be a full-time work, though most of the time is spent in such activities, they are excluded from that domestic labor. Although this may be full-time work and it is detrimental to development. For example, if they go on doing so many things, perhaps you must have seen your sisters and your mother doing so many activities, but that is not what considered. Although this may be full-time work and it is detrimental to development and necessary for survival and equally inescapable. For example, they can't escape from their duty. If you don't do it now, at least after half an hour, after an hour you have to do it. And it is for survival. If at all you want to have life, if you want survival, you have to do all these things. And he gives, the author, is continuing that idea. Perhaps this blindness to girls' work, if you have clearly observed, that is what is happening in our own houses. And if the son is going out for job, and more than that his work is done by the sister or the girl or the daughter in the house, but that is not considered. Perhaps this blindness to girls' work is because non-remunerative, because no father, no mother gives what? Wages, and it is non-remunerative. And nurturing tasks do not have a visible market value. If, for example, if you help mother to carry the child or to do some household work, that is not considered as labor at all, as work at all. So, while the exploitation of a boy working on gemstones or in a small manufacturing unit in Jaipur is easily recognized because it is remunerative, he is getting money. So, he is given more importance and he is described as most hardworking, easily recognized. The equally hazardous work of a girl, you see, the boy cutting the gems there in the Jaipur factory, concern, and compared to that girl, hazardous work. What kind of hazardous work? Cutting grass on a precipitous mountain slope in Garhwal. So they are so deep, so steep, and from those mountain tops, they cut the grass, and their condition and the working conditions are so dangerous, and moreover, it is not recognized. And okay, she is bringing the grass, but nobody understands what the difficulties, the risks behind that. Easily recognize the equally hazardous work of a girl cutting grass on a precipitous mountain slope in Garhwal is ignored. Such concept of child labor is clearly inadequate for understanding the real nature and extent of children's work. This is child labor and other things. And in child labor, about the girls and boys. So this difference. The overwhelming majority of child workers in India are cultivators and agricultural laborers. That is the major area where the children are employed, are cultivators and agricultural laborers. Poor children also undertake a variety of domestic chores. Some people pronounce it as chores, daily work and subsistence activities like minding siblings, small children, and grazing cattle, taking the cattle for grazing, collecting fuel food while coming from the forest, they have to carry the bundle, take home the bundle of fuel and fodder. This is fuel for fire, preparing food, and fodder for the cattle as part of their daily lives, whether or not they are at school. Even though they are going to school, even though they are out of school, these are the additional things that the children are expected to do, to work. And in the last paragraph, however, the documentation on child labor in India, documentation, if we are going to bring it in the documents form, has a strong focus on the dehumanizing conditions of children. You will come to know. If you just prepare a document, if you are going to do documentation of the child labor, and you will find that conditions are really dehumanizing. Dehumanizing. Such vocabulary you have to just take note of different and new words. Children laboring in hazardous industries such as the match factories of Shivakasi in Tamil Nadu, or the glass works of Firozabad. So, match factories of Shivakasi, match factory were firecrackers, they are all prepared in Shivakasi. And who are the workers? Laborers are the workers. So, these are hazardous one, or the glass works of Firozabad. There also mostly small children are used as laborers, are employed as laborers. This is about the child labor. The whole passage is about the child labor, and which are the main ideas and which are the sub ideas, only you have to come to conclusion, and you should underline those catchy words and sentences so that you can get main ideas and sub ideas. the self-employed and street children of Delhi, street children of Bombay, street children of Bangalore and other big cities have also been object of many studies. So, researchers are doing this study, doing this kind of study on the child labor. Yet, in spite of all that, these children represent only the most striking and visible aspect of the denial of a child's right to a healthy childhood. What is healthy childhood? Up to 14 years at least, the children should not be employed as laborers. But who is going to care? They are not allowed to have their healthy childhood, meaningful childhood, especially in the big cities. And striking, and it is seen, it is clearly seen, it is clearly visible. The invisibility of rural child workers, because it is not seen, it is not recorded. This invisibility of rural child workers reflect an urban bias in Indian administration. Bias is this regarding the children from the rural areas and children from the urban areas, there also you will find a sort of change. Research and the media and the pervasiveness of the seductive idea that rural life is somewhat idyllic. This bias is not peculiar to middle class. So it is all with whether it, though it is more in the cities, compared to these villages, still this bias is not bias, tappu grahike. And this bias is not peculiar to middle class. It is not only middle class, it is almost all the children below 14 years in rural and the urban areas. Now, these are the exercises. These are the ideas you got. These are the important points that you have noted while reading. Now, be prepared to answer. What is that? People are blind to a girl's work because it is considered A, not profitable and doesn't have market value, hazardous, inadequate. And when you have read the passage, the answer is obvious, A. Then whose work is more easily recognized or noticed? Where a girl cutting grass on a dangerous mountain slope, and a boy working in a gemstone manufacturing unit. Of course, boy, B. And a number of children in India are cultivators, agricultural laborers, babysitters for their siblings. Though they are going to do all those things, these are all, this is the first, agricultural laborers. And list the kinds of work or jobs that girls do, which is considered as child servitude. There you have got many things, and whatever your knowledge has, that you have seen in your own house and in the neighbor's house in your area. Then number 5, after reading the passage, why do you think poor children in India are not able to have a healthy childhood? Because of the monetary condition of the family. They have to go for work. Otherwise, they can't have both ends meet. And there is no facility for going to school. Even if it is there, parents are not willing. There are many other things, What do you think poor children in India are not able to have the childhood? What you have seen? What is your knowledge you have. Actually, you have seen, you have been living in the midst of the people in the society. And what is child servitude? What is it? Slavery of the children. So, on that, you have to write a note. Now the task. One is already done for you. I have read it. But the next one, you have to read it. So, that is for your perusal, that is for your work at home. What we should do? These are the things. We have already given the title for the passage. What is the title? Marketing of coconut products. A simple topic is there, and all the things, you have got all the points here. Copra is primarily used for extracting oil. So, from there, second paragraph, palm oil and other oil, and necessary to what is it? Production of coconut base. And if you commercialize the coconut products, it would be really what? It is going to raise the economic condition. And here one is given. However, the competition in these areas is not easy. Coconut water in 200 ml sachet packet costs rupees 13, which is much more than bottled soft drinks. It is also more costly than the other natural drink, namely the milk, which is sold at about rupees 14 per liter. And if I ask a question, which is costlier? And everyone writes, milk is costlier. But they never bother about the measure. So, it is 200 ml is equal to 13 for coconut milk, coconut water. But whereas 1000 liter of milk, though it is not the proper, nowadays it is also 40 or 50, about rupees 14 per liter. So, you have to consider the measure also. Simply don't go through by 13 and 14. Say I am writing milk is costlier. A foolish answer. So, and such questions are always there, very, very simple and all that. But my request to you is, instead of writing only one word as answer, you have to just write full sentences. For example, name the states where the copra is produced. The states, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, whatever you find there, are the states where copra is produced, full stop. So, in that way, if you cultivate the habit of writing full sentences, that is going to make you perfect in the structures of the sentences. And you will have the sense of tense also. So, all these things, you have to bother, and you read the passage in your home, on your screen, and reread it, try to understand it, and write the answers for these questions in full sentences. And with this, I just end my lesson, this session. Thank you. Good luck.